recap. We are spending some days in Kunming, which is the capital of Yunnan province in China. And today we are visiting a ghost town. The name is Chenggong.
Which is funny because if you say it if you use different tones and different characters, Chenggong means like success. But this one, it's obviously different characters, but it's still funny to me.
Let's see what a ghost city in China is all about.
Yeah, if it is still a ghost city, it might not be anymore.
Okay, so we need to take line 1 and drive for about 30 minutes to get there. It's 20 kilometers away in a suburb of Kunming. First impression, it doesn't look like a ghost town.
At least there are people, maybe less people than when we were downtown, but yes, so far, ghost town vibes not there. But let's see on street level.
Maybe this was the wrong stop.
Well, that's what it told us to go to, so let's see.
So we made it to Chenggong, the ghost city. Did I say it right?
Ghost city. Yeah, you said it right. I don't know if the tones are right, but yeah, so this was actually meant to be, it was built between 2003 and 2012, and it was meant to be Kunming's new city center, but it just fell into ghost city status. No one moved in.
Because the buildings were too expensive, there weren't enough jobs here, there weren't enough activities, shops, and whatever.
Yeah, but then they actually started to build some universities here as well, and that's given it a new life. Apparently there's still some abandoned buildings and everything around here, but today there's a lot of energy. I'm not sure if it is actually still a ghost city. I think it's probably upgraded from that status. Yeah. And we have beautiful sakura blossoms. I feel like we're in Japan.
So maybe those are empty.
Okay, so we were staying in Kunming, and the ox heads were a very famous part of the Wa culture, and now they're down here in a shopping mall. We don't really understand why.
So far, I don't understand if it's abandoned or some things are not open yet, because anyway it wasn't built so many years ago. So it's still everything new. It doesn't look bad.
Well, no, it looks a little bit like it looks old. That's the thing. So things should have been open by now. I think this is definitely like a semi-abandoned shopping mall.
Look at the roof here, for example, and nothing is happening. Yeah. Especially comparing to what's going on in Kunming.
Exactly. I think the vibes of this area, you could just tell there's just no culture. There's not really so much energy. Hence why, one of the reasons why people probably didn't move in.
I would say you can feel some overbuilding, so many structures, but they're not really necessary or needed. For sure, they haven't been so far. Let's see more.
Okay, so even in an allegedly abandoned place, there is a cute little temple. Although I think it might not be a temple, and there's a KTV.
Maybe it's an hotel.
So I don't think it's really abandoned anymore.
It's also curious that there are empty buildings in this city, as the ghost town it is, but also look, there's also still building. So what's really going on here? I'm also liking in Kunming that I'm noticing that instead of like covering the city with graffitis, which I guess it's also not allowed, we are just painting all the electricity boxes. That's an abandoned gym down there. Has it ever been used?
Don't know. Anyway, I think moral of this story is that it's not really abandoned anymore. It's not a ghost city, that is, but it does still have the ghost city feel, as in like there's not a lot of culture going on here. You still have some abandoned places
like that,
and it's definitely just not going to be the most thrilling place you could work, live, and
yeah,
have a life.
And also, I don't know, I feel this uncertainty, like, will it ever be useful?
Yeah.
Or use?
And now we're walking through a semi-abandoned market, which I think is the theme of this place. It's just semi-ghost.
Yeah. Semi-ghost
Do you want a baozi?
What's baozi?
有肉的包子吗？
有
或者是，就是这个里面有什么？
肉啊，
啊？
猪肉啊，
那这是猪肉吗？
嗯，
OK，好，我来一个这个。Okay, so we got some baozi. 38 cents for both of these. Not bad.
I got a sweet one.
I'll go a salty one. And look at the background.
It's not exactly
Abandoned.
There's red beans inside. I like it because it's warm and soft. We are in a market, semi-abandoned. That's the word.
Yeah. Where is everyone?
Okay. I think we've seen enough.
Yes. I think our conclusions are it was a ghost town. It's not as much anymore, but the vibe still feels ghost town. There's not a lot of culture here. There are still a lot of abandoned spots, and like it just feels like a place that I wouldn't want to live.
Yeah, and there's really a different vibe from a standard Chinese city.
The center of Kunming, for
Yeah.
example. But yeah, I mean, it was insightful. It was definitely weird walking around some of the shopping malls and just like there not being any sense of life.
Yeah. So let us know, what do you think
Yeah.
about this city? Is there a hope for it?
Yes.
Will it ever be fully inhabited?
Yes. And also, we came here so you didn't have to. You definitely don't need to come to this place when you come to Kunming.
Yeah. We checked that
that
for
out.
you.
Anyway,
Checked it off for you.
yes, we'll see you at the next video. Thank you for tuning in. Please subscribe, and we'll see you in more China videos. We had the most complicated coffee transaction ever. We won't go into it, but just make sure that you have some cash when you come to China. There are some times when you're trying to exchange like WeChat Pay with a person, not a vendor, and it just doesn't work if you have an international card. So just have some cash on you.
This is a tiramisu. But it's also everything but a tiramisu. I think it's made with rice dough, something like that.
It's mochi.
Yes, basically mochi.
Yeah.
I don't even know like what it has of the tiramisu. Maybe a bit of like coffee.